I was disappointed. I was begging people, certain people.
Oh,
I'm going live, just so you know.
okay, thank you.
Good thing, thanks.
Yeah, well, anyway, too late now, but.
But if he does want to fill out a survey,
You can
listen to him.
Okay, thank you. Well, anyway, too much,
Alright, so, I don't see Carly yet, but she is planning on zooming in, she told me.
Say, yeah, okay.
So unfortunately, we obviously do not have a quorum, but I did get a chance to talk to Emily yesterday. We kind of went through things and figured out kind of a plan of attack, in terms of chapters and whatnot. So I thought we could at least, particularly since you two are two of the people working on concrete chapters, would still be helpful.
I must say.
Yeah.
Rather,
Well,
on my part.
Me too, so.
Oh, well.
And then we could go through some of the ones that don't have folks on them, and either if anyone's interested in taking them on or has a suggestion for who would take them.
That's a good idea.
We can do that. So, we can go through that list. The other piece would be to talk about, content experts for various chapters, and identifying that. So, I guess we can do that first. So one of the things that Emily had suggested, perhaps for natural resources, marine resources, and anything else like that,
Yeah.
that we, reach out to Midcoast Conservancy or similar.
Yeah.
Cause she did mention that, one of the other towns that she worked, I think it was Noblesboro, yeah, worked with coastal rivers.
Yeah, and they were
And
helpful.
they were a big help in terms of, they already had a lot of the information, so we don't have to go looking for it.
Yeah, I mean, do you wanna focus on that for a second?
Sure.
Cause
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea, and certainly like the Shellfish Committee, and I don't know who the head is right now. Do we have an active
I
head?
don't, I think,
Okay,
I wanna say Bill is the liaison.
Yeah, he's the shelter warden, I think.
he's the.
No, not the war, Bill, isn't it? Bill Maloney.
Oh,
Bill-
No,
But I
it's
think
Hunter.
He's the
Bill,
warden, I don't even know.
Hunt, is it Hunter? It might be.
Yeah, that's on the website, that must be.
yeah, it's on the website.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so Shellfish Committee, and then the warden, you're talking about the state warden of fish and inland fish and wild.
No, we have our own.
Our
shelter
own,
warden.
Yeah,
Yeah, who's that?
that's one
We're
of,
just
I
right
think it's
there.
Hunter,
Oh,
it's
okay.
one of the policemen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, yeah.
So and the idea with the content experts would be one or both of these two things. One would be sending specific questions that we have that we need answers to,
Yeah,
and or sending the draft to make sure we have things correctly presented. So,
Yeah,
but I thought that was a great idea, particularly on that.
yeah, and I
I
know,
talked to other people too that might,
Okay,
or a couple other places. The people that own White Island, I believe it's the Maine Heritage Trust or something like that.
Maine Coast
Maine
Heritage
Coast
Trust.
Heritage Trust.
And then the other group I was thinking, because we've worked with them in the past. Is the Soil and Water District, they might be able to help.
The water district?
No, the Soil and Water District.
Yeah, the soil and water district, yeah,
Yeah,
the state,
Okay,
yeah,
Well, there's a, what do you call it, Knox, Lincoln County,
yeah,
I can get you that,
I know that
yeah,
organization, I'm just blanking on the name too, but I know someone who works for them, so he
Okay.
could steer me in the right direction, I think.
okay,
On that, there, and actually, the beginning with habitat maps have, a lot of information about things like wetlands.
I have those maps on the website now.
Great, I think have a copy of, I think I have a paper version, but it's now probably 5 years old, but I
It's on the
probably have.
GIS map.
yeah, we have the GIS maps
Oh,
now.
So you can do the layers. so
That's
you know.
really great.
Yeah, so we could add that in.
You think I can get that on DSL? Yeah, I probably can. Would it download on,
I
yeah,
think so.
I'll try. Yeah,
And I mean, that's a lot of things, so I mean, it's not like you need to talk to all of those people, but
Yeah,
as you're going through, I thought it might be helpful.
Yeah, I mean, some of them will just emerge as more helpful than others too.
Right.
You know, that's a huge section, but we did, you know, it doesn't have to be huge this time. I keep wondering about things like natural resources and historic resources, whether the big long chapters from the previous plans, when updated, should become like an index. I mean, when I look at Bath and Damascata, they're so concise, you know, it's like there's
Yeah,
a page for every section, and then there are a lot of appendices.
and I think as much as we can, we should try to reduce
Yeah,
and be more efficient. And honestly, AI can help us with that.
yeah.
that's true, or I
We
mean,
can throw it into AI and
that's true. I'd rather, of course, do it myself.
then also edit, because AI is not all,
Yeah,
always
there's
so smart,
plenty, there's
but-
gonna be plenty of text in the comprehensive plan that could,
Mhm.
that could probably serve very well, you know, for
Yeah.
sure. But I do
Um,
think that the long chapter model of the earlier plans is obsolete now. But all the information is good, if people wanna go deeper and
Right.
get all that information, they can.
But I think the shorter versions we've seen are much more likely to actually
To
be
be read
used.
and used,
Yeah.
I agree, I think so
So-
too.
And then these are kind of obvious, but what?
It is Hunter.
Oh, okay. Hunter Farrell is the policeman,
he's
who's
the-
the
okay.
shellfish warden.
Okay, thank you, Erin.
Yeah.
For historical, historic New England and Lincoln County Historical Society, I mean, would be the obvious.
Yeah, I mean, we've got,
people, but
you know, there was so much amazing research done on that previous chapter, and I did, you know, like a year ago, I went through and Peter and I updated, and I just haven't translated the hand edits
Oh, okay.
because I was sort of waiting to see whether this was even gonna be useful.
yeah,
But I think I should just go ahead
I-
and do it, even if it becomes just
I agree.
an appendix.
Yep. I
Okay.
think so, since you've already done the work.
Well, no, that's fine. I mean, I just wasn't sure if it was gonna be useful or not, but I think it is worth doing, cause the original people who did that section worked really well on it. And there are lots of, I have a pretty good sense of the resources for that section.
Well, and a lot of that doesn't change.
Yeah, that's true, like,
A lot of the
buildings
history
don't.
stuff is history, so.
but still,
It's-
when we're talking about using, you know, experts,
Mhm.
then it is good, I think, to, you know, think about Lincoln County Historical and other people in town who are knowledgeable about historic preservation and all that kind
You
of
know
stuff.
who, I was surprised, cause I was helping the waterfront committee with like an ad for the pier permits,
Mhm.
Jim Coaching.
Oh, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I think he
knows
was
a lot.
on that committee.
he was,
But,
he's very knowledgeable.
yeah, so he might have some insights.
Yeah, I think that we should definitely use him as one of our
At least talk
readers.
to him, yeah.
Yeah, if he's willing, you know, just to read it and see where he thinks it's weakest.
Yeah.
And strongest, I think that's a great idea.
And then. So those are kind of the major outside organizations we were talking about.
Yeah.
And then things like recreation. I'll get in touch with Dwayne because I'm gonna go ahead and take that on and, the public facilities and services, and I'm gonna talk to,
Dennis and probably,
yeah, I mean, there's a lot in there, including education.
yeah.
So
Public
there's,
utilities and services includes education?
yes,
Yikes, okay,
and broadband, which I know Carla had.
yeah, she can do
So,
that.
I'm hoping she'll still be cool with that. But I think it will make more sense to,
Having
Go.
a resource for broadband.
yeah, I mean, Carla works with him, so.
Oh,
I think
Yeah.
That'll be fine.
Yeah, I think
aren't you
they'll,
calling?
no, I'm Ann, but Carl and I think the last time we met, they were sitting next to each other, but she's very knowledgeable about broadband, I haven't a clue. That's the difference between us.
Well, and actually it'll be interesting to, I mean, we're getting fiber literally
Oh,
right
yeah.
now
It's
So
being
we
rolled,
can include that.
yeah.
It's literally being rolled
It's
out.
on our road, which is very exciting.
Yeah.
They didn't know when it would go live, but they put the cable up there, which is pretty cool.
That's the first step.
Yeah, yay.
So there are multiple sections of that I'll need to reach out to various people for.
Yeah.
And then, let's see,
What
and
about-
then I'll check in with Carla on housing. She was
Oh,
gonna do that
yeah,
one.
she's interested in housing. I remember that too.
Yeah, I think she had already done a fair amount of work on it,
I think you're right. She had.
so,
Last time, I think one of the last meetings we met was, you had asked me to check in on like some people.
yep.
And she was like, oh, I'm all set, like,
Yeah, she's very capable.
And then, I guess, going back to the top, going down, agricultural and forest resources, are you
I
still?
mean, that used to sort of fall under natural resources.
Yeah.
I know much more about ag and forest than I do about natural resources.
Okay,
So, I mean, it might as well just all be in one big lump, and I mean,
yeah,
I'll just
I agree.
start on any one of them and just see how far I can get.
that'd be great.
These are big ones, and anyone is welcome to join me in the fray.
Well, and, you can talk to Sean, cause he was interested in multiple of the sections of natural resources. So I'm hoping that he'll be able to
Yeah,
help you out there.
he would be good source and probably forestry too. I mean, there are several of them that he would know about that I'm not, and he knows a lot about the harbor
And then, let's see, economy you have, correct?
yeah.
Okay. And then Emily suggested that since we do have a contract, stop, my dinner now.
and that's naughty.
That since we do have a contract with her office still.
Yeah.
That includes some work on the comp plan, she said she'd be happy to start attacking that chapter.
Which one, the economic?
Existing land use,
Oh, existing. ones.
since she does so
And
much with
she's
the
got
planning
all
board
the
anyway,
maps and-
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So I thought that made sense since that's part of the contract.
That,
anyway.
that would be amazing. That gives a real overview that she has.
Yeah, and then Peter had originally signed up for fiscal capacity and capital investment, but I didn't know if that was actually kind of part of what you were doing anyway,
yeah, I said I would do it, but. I mean,
along with municipal finance.
Well, I thought the municipal finance and fiscal capacity were the same.
I have them listed as two separate. Yeah, I think they're two separate. We can check on that, but. I don't know. And then future land use plan, that'll be basically the last thing we do, which will be kind of all of us to
Everybody.
incorporate the feedback. Okay, and then historic, we already talked about,
Oh,
housing, we talked
yeah,
about.
I see. Okay, marine resources is a separate chapter in here
Mm-hmm,
from natural, and maybe Sean could do marine resources, he's so knowledgeable.
mm-hmm.
The waterfront committee, like.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know they wanted to be involved at some point, so.
yeah,
Yeah, they might be good experts for him to talk to, you know?
yeah.
That would be good.
You know who would be a good person, Luke, he's new on the committee, right? I mean, he's literally in it.
Yeah, I mean,
He's
you don't
like-
have to be on this committee to help with it, so if he would be interested,
he's-
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah,
Wait, who's it?
Luke
Sandin?
Sandin? Is that who you
I don't
said?
know.
he's a fisherman, he's a,
Great.
well, oysterman,
So he'd be a good source
And he
for
just
the,
joined the waterfront committee.
yeah.
oh, okay, so he'd be a good marine resources.
I can connect you with him.
Okay, and then what I think I might, well, do you wanna reach out to Sean and say, hey, would you like to do the marine resources? Cause really, he and Luke should probably be the
Mhm.
first connection. I know Bill Sutter's really knowledgeable about the harbor and the fishing scene, or.
Well, I mean, as you know, a lot of this is just going through, it's already there to make sure it's not out of date.
Right.
It's not starting from scratch.
Yeah, good point. Yeah.
So, at least I don't think we need to write a whole new thing that says the same thing
Yeah,
in different words.
Yeah,
Okay, So I'll reach out to Sean first, and then if he's good with that, I'll connect him with Luke and see if Luke would be interested.
I spoke to Emily about the economic section a little bit, just to get her perspective. And, you know, she mentioned that you had spoke, but, she really wants us to get the inventory analysis done, like the data collection, like where we are now. And then you can look at like setting the goals and stuff later and doing the creative visioning.
Yeah.
I think that was what she was trying to get at.
So an inventory even of the economic situation you're talking about, or in
But just
general?
look at the demographics and things like,
Yeah.
you know,
Well, I mean,
like we're,
for all of these, we're not doing the goals yet.
yeah,
No, right.
I think this is a big thing.
yeah.
I never really heard the outtake for the public meetings we had. I never saw a summary of that information, and was that useful at all?
Oh, yeah,
It was?
I haven't done a full summary yet.
Okay, yeah, I didn't know if there was anything.
Oh, maybe it didn't.
No, we did,
Okay,
because we talked about, because I was gonna take. I needed to go through and. The way it comes out, you could figure out who said what,
Oh,
and I was just gonna take off the timestamps and
Yeah.
whatnot, because I think. People took it with the understanding that their
yeah.
answers were public information, but not identifiable.
Or maybe
I
what
agree.
we could post on there, you can remember the summaries that they wrote?
Yeah,
from those meetings?
Yeah.
that's from,
I
yeah,
wrote one summary for the first one, I think. I mean, I think I shared that with Emily, as I recall, but I don't know what became of it.
but their intern, I think,
Yeah,
did at least one of them.
Great.
So
That's
that we
wonderful.
definitely could, put out there
yeah,
whenever.
I don't know, I'm not, I just was thinking some of that could inform our work, but maybe not. I mean, it's more
Yeah.
relevant in a way to the future land use plan to sort of see what people are.
Yeah, but there's still, like, I'm gonna use, so for the population and demographics, I'll obviously use federal data, but I think it will be. It may be relevant to include some of the demographic info from the survey as well,
Yeah,
so.
yeah, that's right. And now I can't even remember, did we share the survey? Have we seen the survey results, the comp plan committee? I can't remember.
We,
I know it emailed.
Sort of. sort of,
Okay.
I think we did some initial,
I don't
like,
know.
before it closed. We had a
Okay,
meeting before it closed,
I think,
and I think
yeah,
I brought back some highlights,
okay, all right.
but I haven't done a full. I need to go back in and just do a full analysis.
I mean, I think it's okay that we have done it. I think that, again, that would be an.
You just wanna
But-
give me the thing, at least give me the thing so I can post on the website so people can see it before you do the analysis.
Yeah,
Or you could save it as
although,
appendix information that could inform, once we've done our updates.
yeah,
Inform our inventories,
and I kind of would like to put something with it rather than just,
Yeah,
you know,
cause it's sort of wrong.
sort of like a cover page,
Yeah.
almost.
alright,
So
Okay.
I will put that on my to-do list for before the next meeting.
for the most part, most of the comments were alright, there was a couple,
Goofy ones.
yeah.
I mean, there's
Oh,
ones
I
that
see.
where people call out certain folks by name.
Oh, yeah.
So those
Just be
aren't too
nice.
nice, but,
Sound a little more diplomatic.
but that's also why I wanna take off the
I
identifying
agree.
information, so that
No, I totally agree.
some of them you could definitely figure out who it
Yeah.
was.
Should be just.
So I have population demographics, that started, so I will finish that, at least as far as we're finishing things. Excuse me, at the moment, and then public facilities and services. And then Sean and Steve Graffam, when he was on the committee, had volunteered for recreation, but,
Oh.
you know, I'll see if Sean still wants to help with that, but I'll take the lead on recreation. And then transportation, that was drafted by, Emily and her team, and so she's just gonna go back in and update anything needs to be updated, and then that's pretty much done
Oh,
besides
wow, that's
goals.
great.
So, yeah,
Okay.
and then water resources, why is that a
I
separate?
know, it's really hard figure out what's
seems like a lot of
natural resources and what's.
Water related.
resources. Yeah,
things.
yeah, let's see.
But yeah, it
Water
is- it
resources.
is
Okay, so this is about groundwater, surface water. Yeah, I mean, this would be great to give that to somebody. If I have natural resources and agricultural and forest resources, it would be great if somebody more knowledgeable would make it a water resources. I'm trying to think who we could get to. What about, who's on the water committee?
Waterfront committee?
No, the actual,
Oh, the water district, the
Dan.
electric,
Dan.
the elected,
Yeah, like Dan Sortwell is,
I think Dan Averill was
Phil,
reelected.
did he still there? I
Phil
just-
was for years.
yeah, I just wonder if some of them might, know, they have an inroad in their mind anyway, too. Because it refers to public work crews and contractors and groundwater and,
Well, and frankly, the water district generally,
Yeah.
yeah,
Chris,
yeah,
you know,
Chris Gazette.
but it also does overlap with natural resources. It's interesting because they're saying a description of each great pond, river, surface drinking water
Oh, geez.
supply. and other-
we don't really have a lot of water. I mean, we have some streams and we only have that
Ponds.
pond up to the.
That is an amazing place.
What?
Where,
The big pond up on 27.
Yeah.
Right. I- I'm getting old. What is it called?
Gardner Pond, I think.
Pardon. Thank you, Aaron. That's a great pond. That qualifies as a great pond, or it did back in the day when I last
It's
did.
over like 15 acres.
Yeah, it's really big. It's private. I remember there was a movement among some to see if the town would buy it. Because it's an
Well, it's
amazing
funny because the town
swimming
owns
spot.
land on the Dresden side of that pond. They go to-
Interesting.
And
The town of Dresden does.
no, the town of Wisconsin
Really?
owns land on the backside of that pond that goes, but you can only access it from Dresden.
Okay, but is it it's private land in Dresden that separates you from the pond
Yeah.
or town of
There's a
Wisconsin?
road from Dresden that comes down.
Yeah, I mean,
What's the name of the road up there in 27? It dead end up there. It's a small
Yeah,
town road,
I know. what
but
you're
it goes
talking
into a bog.
about. Yeah, the
Yeah.
bog road,
Oh, yeah, thanks.
yeah, that's
Oh.
it.
Well, anyways, I found out through the grapevine, from not a Wisconsin resident, that the town had a big dig up there. You must know about this. They were gonna build a bridge out there.
On the bog road,
Yeah,
I remember
I
that.
don't remember that.
And
and
it-
and there's literally still like a concrete, you can see it.
Yeah, some pilings.
Abutments, yeah, pilings, but I guess they stopped because the
It was
pilings
too
got sticky.
boggy.
Yeah,
I remember that. That was you were just a little girl.
Oh.
But it was kind of a famous failed attempt.
yeah, that's what my friend was telling me,
Yeah,
and back in the May Yankee days.
yes, exactly, but there was plenty of money around to do things like that.
Yeah, and I think
Yeah.
that was to connect the other land that the town owned.
Oh, I never knew that though. I don't remember that was the purpose of it.
I don't know what it was for,
Yeah,
I'm guessing because we own, I don't know, I mean, I did an inventory of all the town owned properties and I
That's
remember
right.
seeing that and it was like,
yeah, that's really interesting because I mean, that could be an amazing trail. And there's the whole,
but it's fine, you can't, I mean, cause somebody came to the town office or, I don't know, was asking me about the access to the pond.
yeah,
You really can't access. the
it's
pond.
private. It's definitely private.
I mean, the only way you can do it is through that bog that goes in. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, we're just.
It's okay.
No, but it's an interesting topic. I mean, that's gotta be in here, is acknowledged in here somewhere, because it's an amazing word on.
And then you've got municipal finance, like we said, and then that's it for all the chapters,
Yeah.
so.
Sounds so easy.
Oh, yeah. So I think we've got them fairly reassigned.
Yeah.
And then, so when I email Sean about marine resources, I will ask him if he's still interested in the other ones that he mentioned.
Oh, yeah, you said he was interested in recreation, right?
Yeah, but also several others in the natural
Okay, yeah,
resources
because
bin.
there's water resources, there's
Right.
marine resources. And then there's natural resources, and then there's agricultural and forest resources. I was gonna try to, keep my focus on natural resources and agricultural and forest resources. Obviously, there's
Okay.
gonna be overlap, but the water people, I feel like I'm not very knowledgeable about that. I mean, I could try to take it on, but I think I shouldn't do that because I haven't even finished.
You know, like a good resource for some of the natural resource stuff, and water resource or whatever. Is both Cassie and, or Leslie Robert.
Yeah,
True, because she's a harbor lady. Yeah, and she'd be great for historic resources too, and yeah. I think it's true. Chewaki had a lot of information about local natural resources. I don't know if it's still in a form that, I could access, but they could be, someone there might be a good expert person about.
I can reach out to Chwonky because I've been trying to get hold of Nancy and, I can ask her if, anybody there that would be a good
If
expert.
there's, I mean, I know a lot of students did research about the natural resources, locally.
Well, that's what they do. That's kind of their,
Yes, I mean, they might have stuff to look at, I don't know, and if you don't wanna do that, I could also do that.
oh, if you want, I mean, I'm not, I don't think it would be my area of interest or expertise is the water, natural marine resources, but.
I'll contact her because I know her.
Oh.
And I could just say, do you think there's info out there
Sure.
in their library or in their,
Yeah.
any of the teachers have natural resources or water resources info? I think that's a good idea.
okay. So, and then I'll connect with Sherry about where she'd like to help, because I thought we had marked the ones she was interested in, but I don't see where we marked that.
I can't
So-
remember which ones.
Yeah, so, I will chat with her about that. Maybe she can help you out with some, since you have a big list.
Well,
I don't want you to be
You know,
overwhelmed with it.
Again, there's a lot that was already done, and so I'm just I keep equivocating about, how to make like a short form. And then refer people to an appendix if they wanna know all the details.
Yeah.
So, but I think the original idea that you and Emily were just trying to look through the old chapters and see, are they really out of whack with where we are now?
Right.
Or are they pretty consistent, in which case we can kind of restate them and offer the
Yeah.
resources. And update the resources if we know how to do that.
Okay, and then I know you sent me an email today about I don't know how you would say
Survey.
MESERP or whatever. Town meeting, the
Yeah,
next one, so
Yeah.
that's the same night this committee is supposed to
yes,
meet.
yeah. It's impossible to get, I'll probably get an answer tomorrow, but I'm trying to schedule it with like, people from New York and,
They're more important.
and everybody.
Our schedules are
just,
more
I avoided
difficult.
the select board nights,
Yeah.
and
So I guess what I'll do is
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'll encourage comp plan members to go.
Uh.
Instead of having our meeting.
So what's that meeting?
so remember that survey?
Yeah, so those people are coming,
Yeah, so
Okay.
they're gonna have a little presentation.
yeah,
But there's other work that we've been doing too, like they did a market analysis on like certain industries in town,
yeah,
which is kind of exciting, and
that's cool.
they're gonna present their findings on that, and then tomorrow I actually get a draft copy of the implementation plan that they're working on,
Oh, wow.
so,
I mean, it seems like that would be a really good meeting for comp plan people to go to.
Yeah.
Cause it's about the future.
yeah.
Okay, so we'll plan to do that, and then we can check in via email in terms of how we're doing on.
Yeah, okay. What's the date of that one?
March 12th.
Okay, that's the next starting. And that's here?
We haven't
Oh, you have.
set the
okay.
location, it's either the rec center or the senior center or the Lincoln County.
All right. Oh,
Off
we-
we go.
yeah.
Great job, boss.
March. I got marching orders now.